So we got this car completed. I got the battery disconnected right now because I got to weld the exhaust back up. But how we did this car, I changed the timing chain, the guides, the tensioner. My buddy Kyle helped me a lot with this too. It's pretty much a two-man wrecking crew job to do this. I mean, you might be able to do it by yourself, but I couldn't. So how we went about this? Well, you take all this junk off here to get your front valve cover off. The rear one, if you ever need to do this, I took this crossbar off, obviously. I disconnected the fuel injection, pulled the PCM out, pulled the grounds. When you get all that off, there is enough wiggle room if you got a guy to help, and you got two of you can manhandle it out. It actually goes in pretty easily. So then we got that off. So then we took this stuff off right here, all this junk. Took the crossover tube off too. It's really hard to get off. And then after that, pull your alternator off. Then I did this on jack stands. I did not use my hoist to do this because it's an outdoor hoist. It is on concrete. There is like, I think it's a 5.5-inch slab here. This is an old cheese factory. So there's all kinds of randomness around here. And when I get that shop remodeled, the hoist is going to probably go in there. But I do like having an outdoor hoist because it's nice for doing undercoating or sunny days or whatever. For doing a lot of stuff. But this works pretty slick. I've had it outside for close to 6 years with no real issues ever. The only thing I would recommend if you have an outdoor hoist, paint that tank, because I did have it crack and I just JB welded it up, and it was because the UV rays cracked it. Anyway, so then to do this, what I did was, I zip tied the radiator into place, and then I pulled this brace off, and then you could get the AC pump off, power steering off, pulled this out, the inner fender off, and then I pulled that harmonic balancer off. And then you just basically work through these holes to do the timing chain. It is a bitch, but like I said, it was the winter and it was cold and I didn't want to do it outside. I don't want to have it ripped apart. And being that we basically put this together with all Amazon and eBay stuff to keep the costs down, turned out okay. Then started up and didn't run right. I figured out the cat was plugged up, so we cut that off. And how I tested that, I can't see it now, probably you can. Right there, I made a, not a self-tapper, I used an air fitting and I slotted it so it was like a or not a self-tapper, but like a tap. Screwed that in, and then I took a vacuum gauge and I measured the vacuum because I could not get the O2 sensor off. Now, when you do this or you pull your O2 sensor to do it, if you pull that or do that or pull the O2 sensor and it fires up and it ran more gooder. So then what I did is I walked along here because I could hear something rumbling, like it sounded like it was underwater. So I took a rubber mallet and I tapped on it, and it I could hear something in there, so I chopped that one cat out. And if you come over here, see how it does. This thing's a piece of shit. But yeah, all this was all in there. So yeah, that was all the plugged up cat symptom was. But the guides were making noise. They were really bad, so we put new guides in, tensioners. All in all, the car really rips now pretty good. I'm just gonna weld that chunk in and put the inner fender back on, and this one is done. Then we can maybe get to that guy. I got plans for that one and my orange car in the shop. So hopefully we get this done today, get this out of the way, work in the shop, get that all cleaned up and back to organize, and then we can start on the next project. Thank God. Front wheel drive Lincoln, no bueno. I would own one of these if it was the rear wheel drive version though. Pretty nice, comfortable, and they got a ton of power. This thing would honestly mop the floor with that 440, to be honest, because that's a 77 RV 440 and it is a turd. And this thing really, I'm highly impressed with the power this thing has.